Recep Tayyip Erdoğan was born on February 26, 1954, in the Kasımpaşa district of Istanbul, Turkey. He came from a modest family background, with his father Ahmet Erdogan working as a Coast Guard officer and his mother Tenzile Erdogan raising the children with discipline and care. Erdogan grew up with several siblings in a working-class neighborhood known for its toughness and strong sense of community. The family later moved back to Rize, their ancestral hometown on the Black Sea coast, where Erdogan spent part of his childhood before returning to Istanbul. His early life was shaped by both poverty and resilience, instilling in him a sense of determination to rise beyond his humble beginnings. From a young age, Erdogan was known for his strong will, deep faith, and competitive spirit. He sold sesame buns and lemonade in the streets as a child to contribute to the household income, experiences that gave him a first-hand understanding of the struggles of ordinary Turkish citizens and strengthened his bond with the working class. Erdogan's schooling began in Istanbul, where he was enrolled in a religious vocational school, the Imam Hatip School, an institution that emphasized both Islamic studies and general education. This choice of school played a critical role in shaping his worldview, as it combined religious training with secular subjects, fostering in him a blend of faith and pragmatism. After graduating from the Imam Hatip, he pursued higher studies at Marmara University, where he studied economics and business administration, completing his degree in 1981. His university years coincided with a turbulent time in Turkey's history, marked by political violence and military interventions. Erdogan became deeply interested in politics during this period, influenced by the rise of political Islam and nationalist movements. Unlike many of his contemporaries who gravitated toward secular ideologies, Erdogan aligned himself with the growing Islamic-oriented political parties, seeing them as a vehicle for both moral revival and social justice. His early years were not free from struggle. Erdogan played semi-professional football during his youth and briefly considered a sports career, but his passion for politics overshadowed everything else. His involvement in student politics exposed him to debates about Turkey's future, the role of Islam in public life, and the challenges of westernization versus traditional values. He became a member of the National Turkish Students' Union, a conservative group that opposed leftist ideologies. His determination to defend religious identity in a country dominated by secular elites made him both admired and criticized. He faced skepticism because of his background from a religious school, as graduates of Imam Hatip schools were often marginalized by Turkey's secular establishment. Yet Erdogan's persistence and charisma helped him push past these obstacles, building a reputation as a capable speaker and organizer. By the early 1980s, Erdogan formally entered politics through the National Salvation Party led by Necmettin Erbakan, a pioneer of political Islam in Turkey. The military coup of 1980 dissolved the party, but Erdogan remained loyal to Erbakan's vision. In 1983, he joined the Welfare Party, which became the primary Islamic-oriented political movement in the country. His talent as an orator and his ability to connect with ordinary citizens quickly propelled him upward. He was elected as the party's provincial head in Istanbul in 1985, demonstrating organizational skills and a pragmatic approach to politics. Unlike many leaders of the movement, who focused heavily on ideology, Erdogan combined religious conservatism with an emphasis on economic growth and development, appealing to both the devout and the urban working class. In 1994, Erdogan achieved his first major political victory when he was elected mayor of Istanbul. His tenure as mayor became a turning point in his career. Istanbul, a city of millions, had long suffered from poor infrastructure, water shortages, traffic congestion, and pollution. Erdogan tackled these issues with surprising efficiency. he improved water supplies, reduced pollution, expanded transportation, and initiated urban renewal projects. His pragmatic governance and focus on delivering tangible results won him widespread popularity. At the same time, his leadership style reflected a balance between his religious values and modern administrative methods. However, his growing popularity alarmed the secular establishment. In 1997, he delivered a speech that quoted an Islamic poem, which was deemed by authorities as incitement to religious hatred. This led to his arrest and a 10-month prison sentence, of which he served 4 months. His removal from office and imprisonment temporarily halted his political career, but it also turned him into a symbol of resistance against Turkey's rigid secular system. Following his release, Erdogan continued to build his political influence. In 2001, he co-founded the Justice and Development Party (AKP), positioning it not as an explicitly Islamist party but as a conservative democratic movement that embraced both religious values and modern reforms. The AKP quickly gained popularity, capitalizing on public frustration with corruption, economic instability, and ineffective governance. In 2002, the party won a landslide victory in the general elections, and Erdogan became prime minister in 2003 after a ban on his political activity was lifted. His ascent marked the beginning of a new era in Turkish politics. As prime minister, Erdogan implemented sweeping reforms. He stabilized the economy, attracted foreign investment, and pursued European Union membership, aligning Turkish laws with European standards. His government invested heavily in infrastructure, healthcare, and education, transforming Turkey's economic landscape. For much of his early tenure, Erdogan was praised both domestically and internationally as a reformist leader who combined conservative values with democratic governance and economic modernization. He also sought to reduce the military's influence in politics, a long-standing feature of Turkish secularism, gradually asserting civilian supremacy. Over time, however, Erdogan's rule became increasingly controversial. As his power consolidated, critics accused him of becoming authoritarian. The 2013 Gezi Park protests, which began as a small environmental movement, expanded into nationwide demonstrations against his government, reflecting discontent with what many saw as his heavy-handed leadership and restrictions on freedom of speech. His response to the protests, marked by police crackdowns, damaged his international reputation. Despite the criticism, Erdogan remained highly popular among his supporters, who viewed him as a defender of the people against secular elites and foreign interference. In 2014, Erdogan became the first directly elected president of Turkey, a position that had previously been ceremonial but which he transformed into a powerful executive office. Under his leadership, Turkey adopted a new presidential system in 2017, granting the president sweeping powers. His tenure as president has been defined by both achievements and crises. He oversaw major infrastructure projects such as bridges, airports, and highways, and he pursued an ambitious foreign policy that sought to make Turkey a regional power in the Middle East and beyond. He positioned himself as a strong leader during turbulent times, particularly after the failed coup attempt in 2016, which he survived by mobilizing his supporters into the streets. The coup attempt gave him justification to purge thousands of officials, military officers, academics, and journalists, consolidating his control further but drawing accusations of authoritarianism. Erdogan's legacy is complex. He has transformed Turkey's economy, modernized infrastructure, and given voice to religious conservatives who felt excluded by the secular establishment. He has raised Turkey's profile on the world stage, often defying Western powers and asserting independence in foreign policy. Yet his critics argue that he has weakened democratic institutions, curtailed press freedom, and deepened polarization within Turkish society. His economic policies in recent years have faced growing scrutiny, with rising inflation and currency instability threatening the stability he once established. Recep Tayyip Erdogan's life reflects a journey from poverty in the streets of Istanbul to the highest office of the Turkish state. His story is one of resilience, ambition, and determination, marked by both extraordinary achievements and significant controversies. For his supporters, he is the leader who restored dignity to the common people, revived national pride, and defended Turkey's sovereignty. For his detractors, he is a figure who eroded democratic norms, concentrated power in his hands, and steered the country toward authoritarianism. What remains beyond dispute is that Erdogan has shaped modern Turkey more than any other leader since Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, and his influence on the nation's future will continue to be felt for generations to come.